Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another wonderful room on the TryHackMe, which is Smol. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And I'd like to take this video to showcase some important techniques. For example, I'd like to show you how to enumerate WordPress like plugins, usernames, themes, and points. Next, I'm going to show you how to identify and exploit plugin or specific plugin. Next, I'd like to use PHP filter. Sometimes when we try to exploit local file inclusion vulnerability, we need to use this kind of technique. Next, I'd like to make some sort of summary on how to get reverse shell. Okay. Next, I'm going to explain escape sequences like octal or hex, and how to use Python to convert it to original data. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to use John the Ripper to crack the password or password hash. And last of all, I'd like to show you how to get access with SSH private key. Sometimes you will get some sort of problems, and I will show you how to solve that kind of a problem. So enough said, let's head over to the Kali Linux VM to begin with. And this is the IP address of the target machine. To save time, I've already completed the nmap scanning. And so now we can get out its result. Okay. So let me make the font to be bigger so you can see what's going on exactly. So as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the verse scan, default script scan, and then output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just as what I'm doing now. Although the IP address of the target machine has been changed since I respawned the machine. Okay. From the nmap scanning results, we can tell the target machine has two open ports. The first one, 22. Its surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get the version information, open SSH, including its exact version number. I don't think we can do anything at this moment with this surface. And the second open port, 80, the surface is HTTP. And also we can get the version information, Apache 2. So I think also here we can find the host name or domain name we can copy and put to our notebook. Port 22 SSH, surface port 80 HTTP. I think before we go ahead, we have to append this host name and its corresponding IP address to the host file. Okay, so let me do that. Echo, and we can copy the IP address of the target machine from my notebook, and we can copy its domain name. Single quote and pipe operator, sudo append the mode hosts. Okay, it's done. Also, I think we can put the main domain name to the host file as well. So now we can fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. Okay, we can put yes. There is some sort of cached page, so we can refresh it. So this is another CTF. some RCE, remote code execution, which is most dangerous, I think. And also the SSRF site request forgery, very important vulnerability. And also the cross-site script vulnerability. Let's scroll down. And nothing here. At the bottom, we can notice WordPress. So this means, this application is running or is supported by WordPress, some sort of CMS, content management system. As usual, we need to check its source code. And we can scroll down. Nothing useful from the perspective of penetration. Next, I'd like to use command line to retrieve its robots file. Okay, robots, but not found, which is fine. Next, we can launch Nicto to perform automatic and comprehensive enumeration. And this can enumerate a very rich information about the web application from various aspects, such as the version information, request header, allowed HTTP methods. This process is a bit laggy, a bit slow. So, from this point, I don't like TryHackMe as one hub. After all packets would be, transported over internet. And my internet is not so good, maybe as some of your guys. Okay, so anyhow, Nicto cannot give us very much. So I'd like to save time. I'd like to interrupt here. Next, we can launch GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. So, the GoBuster can support different subcommands. You can use -H option to get all of supported subcommands. And dir, which is short for directory enumeration, is one of them. Although it can support to enumerate like virtual host, also very, very strong and powerful. And use the -E option to specify the URL of the target. And then use -W option to specify the word list. And in most cases, this word list can work very fine, very well, okay? And the last option of all is -X option to specify some sort of extensions like PHP file, HTML file, back file, okay? So anyhow, I don't think GoBuster, it's not very easy to, to enumerate very valuable directories or files. So to save time, although, can enumerate some default directories of or pages of WordPress, okay? To save time, I'd like to stop it here. So next, we need to, I think, because we have noticed it's the same as, which is WordPress. So next, we can launch a WordPress scan 2 to perform particular enumeration, okay? Let me autocomplete this command, and we need to use the option of -E. This means enumerate, and I want to enumerate both username and plugin. Press enter to see what we can get. Of course, if you want to perform more comprehensive scanning or enumeration with respect to plugin, we need to take different options. Plugin detection, okay? So in the meantime, I'd like to make very quick summary how to enumerate the WordPress application. usually we can use, first of all, we can use WP or WordPress scan2 to enumerate the username and plugin and version of WordPress. Okay, some bit older WordPress is vulnerable. Okay, and if username is identified, then we can use the same tool to make brute force, okay, to try to get its password. If not, and then I think, and also this case plugin, because by default, just what we have already seen here, if use this option, we cannot get any useful plugin information, and we can take a different option to make more comprehensive plugin enumeration with option plugin detection, and the value is mixed. So this mixed means this utility will take both aggressive way and passive way to enumerate the plugins. Okay, and so if successful, if okay, and then we can log in to the WordPress administrators panel. And even if the user is administrator, and we can try to upload web shell, okay? And, to upload web shell, we can take different approaches. For example, we can replace for 04 template file with web shell, okay? And the next, we can use the Metasploit. And the next, we can try to upload plugin and others, okay? And here, if we found the vulnerable plugin, and then we can exploit it. So I think basically these are steps we need to follow, we need to take when we emulate the WordPress application or WordPress CMS. Let's go back. It's doing fingerprinting the version. So, but up to now, nothing very exciting. We need to wait almost another 4 minutes. So I'd like to pause the video. All right, it's done. So here, we successfully identified some WordPress users like admin, think, WP, Diago, and of course we can try to make brute forcing to attempt to crack its password. For example, how to do? We can use this way. The username admin. I think this should be administrator, and then we can use the locale word list. Press enter. But I don't think we can easily crack its password within reasonable period of time. So I'd like to interrupt here. And also, I think just now we can find the plugin information, this one, and even we can get the version information. And as a matter of fact, this version is vulnerable. And you can use Google to make some research, and you can not difficult to get this link. And this is some sort of the server-side request forgery, and we can copy this POC. We can copy and paste over here. And we need to, I think we need to copy this part. You know, use this way, use this server-side request forgery and PHP filter to get the source code of the configuration file. We can, how to do? Let me use the Q slash, press enter. Oh, because there is end symbol in this URL. It would be better we put single quotes or double quotes for this URL address. Alternatively, we can use browser, okay? So we do not need to worry about this kind of issue. Okay, press enter. As you can see, we successfully retrieved the source code of WordPress configuration file. Beautiful. And let's scroll up. I think the most important part of this configuration file should be database collection credential. So we can copy and paste over here. The username is wp user. Okay. So now I think we can, you know, also we can use this way to, for example, if you want to retrieve the, the password file. Okay, let me do that. Maybe, of course, password file, we do not need to get its source code because this is not a PHP code. So we can do this way. Like a file. Here it's not a PHP filter. / password. We successfully retrieved password file, and some users like Think, Diago. So next, I think we can try to, you know, to see whether there is any private key we can get, right? So how to do? We can use the home think SSH. No. So how about the second user? No. Diago. No. So how about this one? So how to pronounce this username? No. So how about SSM user Ubuntu no. So next we can try to access log file. So the log authentication log. No. So how about the Apache access log? Interesting. So how to do next? Although now we have already retrieved the content of password file, but nothing very exciting, to be honest. However, just now we have already found database collection credentials for database collection. So next we can check to see whether we can log in to the WordPress administrators panel. We can copy and WP user login. So we are logged in successfully. Unfortunately, looking around the left column information, we realize the current user, WP user, is not administrator. So maybe we need to gather some information from the about this user, like posts. But we have already seen these posts already, right? So how about the pages? We find this private. So this implies maybe there's something important inside this page. We can click. So important to check backdoors. So webmaster tasks verify the source code of Hello Dolly plugin as the site's code revision. So this message is telling us possibly Hello Dolly has some kind of backdoor, and to know that we need to get its source code. So how to get its source code? We can use this way, this vulnerability, or the server-side forgery, a request forgery. So let me grab the historic command. And usually, as you know, this should be hello, right? PHP. So I think would be hello. Hello. Nothing returned. Maybe we need to remove one layer of path traversal. We don't know its location yet. We successfully retrieved the source code of the plugin Hello Dolly, and from this post, from this message, we need to look at this source code very carefully, because some sort of backdoor is hidden in this code. So we need some CSS to position. We do not need to care about this one. We do not need to pay attention to CSS in most cases. So this just echoes the chosen line. We will position it later. And eval, like a system function. And this one is to do kinds of decoding. So maybe we can copy this string and decode it. And we got this. So I think this is if statement. If this one, but the variable name is very weird, right? Actually, this is some kind of escape sequence. and the three character 3Gs means octal, and this one means hex decimal, and we need to convert it. So how to do? We can use Python. As you can see, as a matter of fact, this sequence of string or character stand for CMD. And similarly, this one, we can Python this one, also CMD. Okay? So I think if we go back to the source code, so here we can pass the value to the parameter CMD, and then this will be passed to the system function. So if we can put, for example, like id command, and then this command can be executed. Okay? Although, the dolly, let me go back. Posts. So as you can see, the dolly. So I think we just, although we cannot find the specific page to submit this request, we just need to, put, for example, like the home page of the WordPress admin. Okay, let me show you what I mean. We can remove this one, question mark, and CMD ID. To see whether this command can be executed. Indeed, the command is executed. So next, I'd like to show you how to get initial foothold on the target by running reverse shell command. Usually we can take the following way. First, we can go to the, this website, pentest monkey, reverse shell cheat sheet, and we can try, different commands until we can find correct one or workable one, including the Python. So this is the first step, the first way. And the second way, we just directly run reverse shell command. Okay, next we can try to, on the attacking machine like Caninius, we can set up web server, and this server will feed the shell script. This shell script contains reverse shell command. Okay, and we can set up web server like with Python 3, and this is the server will be feeding shell script which contains reverse shell command. Okay, and the next one we can upload, we can upload the script to the machine, and we can use the bash followed by the name of the script. Next, we can do some, like encoding the reverse shell command. Okay, echo encoded reverse shell, and then can use pipe operator base 64 to decode it, and then can use another pipe operator, and then we can run this reverse command. Okay, basically there's four types of different approaches to get reverse shell command. Okay, but here To save time, I'm not going to demonstrate the all other three ways. I'm going to use this way. Okay, so how to do? Let me show you, which is also very interesting, very important way and skills for the pen tester. We can set up the shell script, and of course, I've already made a copy. You can make a copy from here, like this one. Yeah, this one, and then you need to do some modification. The IP address of the Linux or attacking machine, and followed by the port number, any port number. Okay, so now we can write. So we can write and quit, and we can. I need to make a double check. Yes. So now we can set up a web server with Python 3. Next, we also need to set up the listener with netcat, waiting for collection from the target machine. So next, let me go back to the browser to run command like q command q http, and followed by the IP address of the Linux 8000 shell, and then we can use pipe operator bash. Okay, let me press enter key to see whether we can get the reverse shell from the target machine. If we can, then we can go ahead. Okay, fantastic. We successfully got collection from the target machine. Then we can go ahead and move on. And we can spawn an interactive shell by Python. Python 2 is not available. So how about Python 3? Python 3 is available. Okay, so next we need to do some, enumeration. And how to do? I think first of all, we need to go, I think because maybe I can export term variable. Then we can clear screen whenever to get a bigger space, right? So just now we have already retrieved source code of the WordPress configuration file. Maybe we can now cat. Oh, no need. We can use the credentials to, connect to the database. So yeah, this one, I think we can MySQL. And we can copy its password. Okay. We are in the database, so we can show databases. And the only one database caught our attention most, WordPress. So we can use this, the database, and then we can show tables. And the most important table in this database is users table. And we can dump this table. And we can get the username and the password, the password hash or hashed password. And we can launch John the Ripper to crack such passwords. But to save time, I'd like to crack this one. We can copy. We can echo. And then we can use John Reaper to crack it, because I've already made such cracking earlier. So now we can use show option to display the cached password. Okay, so this one. So I think now we can try to see whether this password is reused. I mean, the password is not only used in the WordPress, but also is used in the system. Okay, so now we can try to SSH to the target machine, right? Diago, and we can copy its IP address, paste in here. Yes, and then we can copy this pass. But even we cannot supply any password because the authentication is based on public key. Okay, so don't worry, we can try to use password to switch the shell. Okay, let me exit from MySQL. Diago. Beautiful, it does work. So then I think we can get the user flag without any difficulty. And next, what we need to continue enumerating the target machine. So how about Diago, also sudo, and so we found this old version of WordPress, but right now we do not have a permission. Okay, so let's go to SSM user. Nothing at all. How about think? We find SSH directory. We have permission. Even we can notice its private key and private key. So I think we can copy this private key and create it locally. Let me copy, paste in here. And now I think we can SSH to the target machine. Of course, we need to make a copy of the IP address, paste in here. The load key bad permissions. So this is I'm going to stress for you. Sometimes, we must keep the privilege of the private key as low as possible. So how to do? For 00 means read only. And then we can SSH to the target machine one more time. Beautiful. So up to this point, we have already made that movement successfully from Diago to think. And what else? So now I think just now we didn't go to Ubuntu. Also has SSH directory or permission denied. Go to this one. Nothing at all. Let's How to do? Wait a moment, I have a call. Maybe next we can upload nmap's shell script to perform automatic enumeration. Okay? So let me drag this script from toSets directory. And we can set up web server. Oh, it's already there. So now we can use wget to upload. Let me copy IP address of my Kali Linux. nmap's. It's done. Next, we can make it executable. Then we can run it. When we try to make lateral movement or privilege escalation, in most cases, we can rely on the power of this script because this can perform automatic enumeration very comprehensively, such as cron job, processes, although sometimes we need to upload another very useful utility, pspy, to enumerate processes, even those of root user or other users. Okay. Beyond that, also can enumerate like binaries with SUID bit. And if we can utilize the suspicious or dangerous binary to elevate the privilege. And also like capabilities of the binaries. Very powerful. It's done. Let's scroll up to see what we can get from this script. At this moment, we do not have permission to this zip file. Files. SUID bit, but nothing suspicious. Active ports. Cron job. Processes. Nothing very useful. Local exploits. As a matter of fact, this machine has one vulnerability which is not easy to support. Actually, we can switch to this user without any password. Okay, sometimes we will not do such a check. Okay, so now I think we can unzip this file, but it's password protected. So next, I think we can I think we can transfer this file to Canonics. How to do? Python 3 HTTP server. It's done, and then we can use wget to download. And we can copy the name of this file. Oh, very big. So it will take a bit long time. See you later. All right, it's done. And now we can try to crack it. And we can take at least 2 ways. The first way is to convert the file, zip file to hash value. And then we can use hashcat or the John Reaper. But another way, if the file is zip rather than other types of file, we can take another way, fcrack zip. Use the Dutch P option to specify the password dictionary and the dictionary based, okay, on zip. So now we can put this here, press enter to see whether, as you can see, very fast. So now we can copy this password to unzip. Okay, it's done. So now we can go inside this old version of WordPress. Without any hesitation, we need to check configuration file, right? And we find, this username and password. Again, possibly the password is reused in different places. We can copy, and here I think we can try to switch to press enter. It does work, right? So now we can run sudo, provide the password one more time. Even we can run all commands. So I think the privilege escalation would be very easy. We just run sudo bin bash. As you can see, we have already become root user. Then we can navigate to root directory to grab the final flag without any issue. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.